All right. Welcome, everyone. My name is David Fuller. I am the professor teaching Econ 331, Intermediate Macroeconomic Theory. So it's a pleasure to have you all in this class virtually. So the purpose of this video is to first just kind of introduce myself. You can see me, get to know a little bit about me, and I'm just going to briefly talk about a few key points of the syllabus, things I just want to highlight so that you can get that hopefully through this video a bit more efficiently than just reading the syllabus on your own, or at least I have a chance to highlight a few things I'd like you to take a closer look at or keep in mind as the semester gets rolling. So a little bit about myself. I have been at UW-Oshkosh starting my 8th year now. So I came here in 2014. Where have I been before I came to UW-Oshkosh? So I was actually born in Oshkosh way back when. Never really lived in Oshkosh. I grew up in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, outside of Madison. And then I went to UW-Eau Claire. So I went there to play golf. I never really pursued. I originally wanted to have a career in golf, which I never pursued. So I went to UW-Eau Claire, majored in economics, got a degree in economics, and I stuck around for another year and got a degree in mathematics at UW-Eau Claire, and went to the University of Iowa to get my PhD in economics. And after Iowa, I lived in Pittsburgh. I worked at Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, and then went to Montreal in Canada, Quebec, Canada. I lived there for 5 years. I had 2 of my 3 kids in Montreal, 1 kid since I moved to the Oshkosh area. So I was in Montreal, and then my family and I moved back to Wisconsin. Really always enjoyed the Midwest, Wisconsin in particular, and this opportunity came up at UW-Oshkosh, and so I was really happy to take this opportunity and been here ever since. So in terms of what I teach, I specialize in macroeconomics. So I teach, you may have had me for principles of macro. I teach intermediate macro, money and banking, and occasionally time series analysis and forecasting. Also a newer class on economic growth that'll hopefully be offered in a few semesters. So I'm a macroeconomics expert and very excited to teach this class in macroeconomics. So let's see. Personally, things to know about me. My main hobby is golf. I really love to play golf. I love everything about golf. Up until the past year when my kids got a little bit older, I hadn't played much golf between college really and now. So it's been fun to play some more golf than I have in the past. I really like golf. I also really love to read. I read a lot of books. Would love to talk with any of you if you have books that you're reading that you really like or want to talk about book recommendations, outside of economics even or anything. I'm always excited to talk about that. I try to read as much as possible. And then I also like lifting weights. So that's something I'll do, try to do a few times a week if I can to stay in shape. And otherwise, I have, like I said, I have 3 kids all in grade school. So that certainly keeps me busy when I'm not teaching classes for the university. So that's a little bit about me. I know as part of this week, your first assignment is to work through the discussions, under the discussions, student introductions, to write something about yourself. Hopefully be able to make a video and kind of introduce. And I'll be going through those and, leaving some comments and saying nice to meet you. And so I'm really looking forward to meeting all of you. This first part here, introduction, is kind of, what I would do if we were in class, just to introduce myself a bit and hopefully help you realize that I'm just some person that's here teaching this class, and so you can approach me with your questions, comments, and concerns as you would one of your classmates, right? That's kind of the point of me introducing myself a little bit, hopefully. So just a few short things here regarding the syllabus. Obviously the course is online asynchronous. One thing I'll note, my office hours, so even though the course is online asynchronous, be really great if you can stop by sometime in office hours, just so I get to know you a little bit, get to see you in person. This is also the absolute best time, if you can make it, to ask me questions about the class, assignments, upcoming exams, etc. Why? Well, one, you're guaranteed to know that I'm going to be there, and you can get an immediate response at those times. So if I was you and you had the flexibility, in and around there is a good time to work on homeworks and those types of things, because if you come into a question, okay, we can go down to Professor Fuller's office, and we can catch him and ask some questions. So those are my office hours. If you can't make those times, I'm always happy to meet at some other time. Just let me know. We'll schedule time to meet. It can be in person, or it can be virtually if that works better for you. So keep in mind that that's a great way to reach me, in addition to email, etc. So the textbook, there's no book for class, as you've already seen. Everything that we do will be self-contained on Canvas with my lecture notes and any other additional readings that I give you. So anything you need to know, I will tell you in a video similar to this one, or in one of the readings, or any of our assignments, etc. You'll see things that I expect you to know. So I won't expect you to read the textbook and pull some random passage out of there and ask you a question on an exam or anything like that. All right. So otherwise, the main thing, probably the thing you're most concerned about, typically when you start a class, how are we going to be graded? And so your grade in this class has kind of got four components, what I call homework and discussions, and then exams. So we'll have pretty regular homework/discussions. And that's really just to kind of give you the motivation and reason to kind of follow along with the lecture notes and videos that I'm posting. So this class, eventually is going to move pretty fast. And if you fall behind, you say, well, I'll catch up on the material once we get closer to the exam. You'll have way too much stuff to catch up on. It won't work. You try to watch it while you're doing the exam or something, and it's going to lead to a poor outcome. So knowing that, I have this class set up so that there's fairly regular assessments that kind of force you to go through and stay current on the content. And if you do that, it's going to make the exam significantly easier. So, and also to kind of give that some bite, the homeworks are going to be worth 10% of your final grade. And trust me, that's an easy 10% to get, right? So you can ask questions about the homework, you can work with each other, and so hopefully scores are relatively high in those homeworks, and that gives you a good boost to your grade. As you notice here, I'm also allowing you to drop, it says lowest discussion score, but your lowest homework score. So that kind of covers any and every possibility for why you may not have been able to finish a homework assignment, right? So, stuff happens. You were logging on to connect and turn it in, and you couldn't before the deadline, etc. That's no problem. We'll just chalk that up to bad luck, and you can drop that score, and it won't affect your final grade. All right. So, other than that, there isn't a whole lot of other things to cover on the syllabus. Of course, read through it. If you do have questions, let me know. Send me an email. Come to see me in office hours. But otherwise, I think it should be a very fun semester, and I'm looking forward to working with everyone. So there will be some other videos posted that kind of go through some of the notes for this week. But otherwise, I'm looking forward to seeing your student introductions as you post them.